Hey retro fans, welcome back to RGF Retrogameforce. And when people talk about retro gaming, the first system that comes to everybody's mind has to be the Nintendo Entertainment System, the NES. This little guy was responsible for a true revolution back in the video games, back in the 80s and in the 90s. So back then, I didn't have the original NES, I have a clone system that could play NES, Famicom and even some clone video games, so Famicom cartridges that were much cheaper than the original ones, and they could have also multi game cartridges off there, and even the system itself had incorporated a number of games inside, so I was actually a pretty let's say happy child to play so many games only with this awesome system. Unfortunately, I don't have the system here with me, but I have the original NES right here. And today, what I want to talk is about five soundtracks of video games that really gives nostalgia to me. It was games that I played back then, and I was blown away by the quality of the soundtracks of these games. So guys, let's start the 5 more nostalgic soundtracks for me on a Nintendo Entertainment System. Stay tuned! So on the 5th place of my list I have here Batman the video game. I was never a big fan of Batman, I can tell you. I was more a Spider-Man and Hulk guy when I was a kid. But still, this friend of mine told me, look, I have this game, Batman video game, let's change some games. You borrow one of yours, I borrow this one to you, and I can tell you this is a really good game. And I was a bit skeptical, because Batman, and I was, yeah, okay, it's a fighting game, yeah, let's give it a go. So I got this game at home, and as soon as I put this on the cartridge, on the cartridge on the console, I understood exactly what my colleague was talking about. And on the 4th place, here on my list, I have the Castlevania, the original Castlevania. My grandparents a lot of times take me to the store when they sell these pirate copies, Famicom copies, and they had like a bunch of games, all different labels, different colors, whatever. And back then we don't have internet, right? So we had to look at the label of the game and try to choose whatever we want. Of course, there was classical games like Mega Man or Rockman and whatever, Dragon Ball and whatever, new stuff or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or whatever. That stuff was already common, and even if the game was bad, at least you know it from the TV, right? But I look at the label of a game with vampires and stuff, and I was like, whoa, what is this? Castlevania? I have no idea what is this. But, I was on that age that I wanted to be cool, and I wanted to have, like, violent games and stuff. And I thought to myself, okay, this looks good. The label was incredible, so maybe the game is also incredible. I had some bad experience of games that I thought were incredible, and it was like really bad games. But this one was truly worth it, because when I put it on my system and I start to see the game itself running and listen to the tune, that really blew me away and give me really the feeling that I was playing a horror video game. So pretty cool. Castlevania, 4th place on my favorite soundtrack. And now I'm going for the third place on my list. I have a Disney platform. Here, Chip and Dale, produced by Capcom. And the story behind, I was a big fan of Chip and Dale. I was watching it every Sunday on the TV in the Disney Club or Club Disney, I don't know in English how it is. But in my home country, Portugal, this was very popular and I really liked the cartoons. I found it very funny, and one day I was passing through the store and I saw this cartridge, well, the Famiclone cartridge of this game showing off, and I was like, oh man, I need to have this game. I really want to play Chip and Dale at home, come on. And I tried to convince my mom, hey, can I have the game? And then she said, yeah, no budget, you need to wait for Christmas or so I can get you. And I was really disappointed and afraid that somebody else took it from the shelves. But in the end, I could convince my grandparent to offer me and to give me this one, and I play a hell of out of it. But I remember the first thing when I put this game on my system, the first tune, the intro tune was really like the cartoons. I was really happy, but also the level tunes were really impressive, really good quality on the tune, chip tune that Capcom produced here for Chip and Dale. So, third place on my list, Chip and Dale, The Rescue Rangers. So now going to the second place on my list, I have a game that you already see the box here, Mega Man 2. And Mega Man 2 was a very special game for me. Back then we had the time to take hard games, hard as nails. This game is very hard. Today if I play it, it destroys me completely. I don't have the skills I had like I had back then, or the time to spend on this. But I got it borrowed from a friend of mine that didn't finish it. So when he borrowed me the game, he said, "Look, the game is great. I cannot finish it. It's a very hard game." And I had the Famiclone game of Rockman 2, actually the Japanese name of Mega Man. And I took it home. I died so many times, but with time I got better and better and better. And the console was on 24/7 without my mother, of course, to know this, but 24/7. And one day I finished the game and I went to my colleague and said, look, I finished all the bosses, I get all the weapons, and I explained to him the tricks. For this boss you need to use that weapon, for that boss you need to use that, because for this kind of hard games you need strategy. You need to understand what you need to do and what is the best weapons to use against certain enemies. But you need to die a lot in order to understand. But I remember that when I saw the intro of this game, it really blew me away completely, because the intro was like emotional, and the music was great, and also the presentation itself, the graphic presentation, was really emotional and very good. So second place on my list, Mega Man 2. My favorite soundtrack on the NES is from the Super Mario Bros. 3. It's probably the most sold game on the NES, and the last Mario game to be released on the NES, and for me the best Super Mario game for me ever is Super Mario Bros. 3. And the 16-bit era was already arrived when this bad boy came to the shelves. But it really impressed me when I played the game. I could save the game, but also what impressed me was the quality of the graphics and what you can do, and the transformations of Mario, and all of the stuff that you can do in this game. It was huge, and the controls were really good, but also the soundtrack. Man, the soundtrack was really amazing. I remember there was some cartoons of Super Mario on the TV, and they based also their soundtrack on the Super Mario 3 soundtrack, and you know, the soundtrack was very, very good. And this game even had some extra chips inside on the PCB to help the NES to perform well, because this was really groundbreaking when I was first playing this. It was, for me, except for the coloring, for me it was like a 16-bit level game. It was that good, and the soundtrack is amazing. So, Super Mario 3, Super Mario Bros. 3 is my favorite soundtrack on the Nintendo Entertainment System. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and thank you also for being here together with me and going down on the memory lane here for my collection of NES games, which I really like the soundtracks and the games from that matters, but the soundtracks was the point of decision why I choose these 5. And what I will do now, I will challenge my good friend, YouTuber, a fellow YouTuber friend, Retros2. He's a big collector for the NES and a big fan of the system. And it will be nice to see what 5 choices he will do on his favorite nostalgic soundtracks for the NES. So, as usual, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. I really want to know what games did you like in terms of soundtrack on the NES back then. And again, like, comment and subscribe. And until the next video, take care and bye bye.